Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff with the Cybersecurity and IT Professional Podcast, where industry leaders share their insights. It's 6 questions in about 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. So let's jump in. Jeremy, in a few sentences, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure, thanks. My name's Jeremy Moskowitz. I'm a founder and CTO of PolicyPak software, and I've been a Microsoft MVP for 16 years, 14 in group policy, and 2 in Microsoft Endpoint Manager / Enterprise Mobility.
Very cool. Question number 2. What's the best thing about leading your own company as a founder in these very interesting times?
Well, there's always new challenges, right? Either technical challenges or growing the company. I always like steering my own ship, so it's like just the perfect kind of vehicle for me. But for us, there's new tech, new new waters to chart, and it's always exciting. Every single day is just something brand new.
Very well put. Question number 3. We hear from other industry leaders that cybersecurity is not only a huge concern today, but with the rise of remote work and so forth, that it's only getting bigger. What does that mean to you?
Well, PolicyPak, the software, it was designed expressly for working from anywhere. So if you are on-prem, always on the go, the whole point is that we're going to make sure that your endpoints have the best security. If it's making sure that you remove local admin rights, if it's making sure that users can't be naughty and work around your particular application settings, if it's to make sure that you've always got always on VPN turned on, we're going to make sure that your work from anywhere workforce is secure. So it's a very specific perspective, but from the other side of perspective, not being outside from a product concern, it also means that we always have to be doing all that we can be doing to keep the bad guys at bay. It's not enough to sort of just hope that the bad guys don't come and find you. We always have to be proactive to put in all the things we can to make the bad guys say, you know what, let me go to another target, not these guys.
Yeah, very astute these days, especially because the bar is getting lower for those who want to be bad, and the bar is getting higher for those of us who are trying to, as you say, keep them at bay. So very interesting. So question number 4, what insights about never stop learning would you care to share with our community?
Yeah, I mean, never stop learning is hard. Okay, I mean, but basically, the tenet basically speaks for itself. At some point, you can decide if you're going to be a super specialist in one area or you're going to be a generalist in another area. Generalist in all areas. But when it comes to cybersecurity concerns, it's never a bad thing to get everybody's kinds of well-rounded perspective. I've been watching lock-picking videos recently because it's completely on the opposite end of cybersecurity. It's a little bit about physical security, but it kind of gets me thinking about how bad guys attack that kind of avenue. And then I subscribe to a bunch of RSS feeds from guys and gals that have how to keep your desktops more secure. And then I've got a bunch of others that talk about how to keep your servers more secure. I'm going through the entire gamut of things that I think are interesting attack vectors for any kind of avenue. So never stop learning can mean, subscribe to just darn near everything. You can't read everything, but maybe something's going to pique your interest and you want to get more into that. And you're like, you know what? That's going to be my super specialty. And that's something you wouldn't have thought of. So if you go take a broad stroke and go as wide as you can, cast a really wide net. I use a blog trotter, which is like an RSS feed. I just subscribe to anybody interesting and it goes in my inbox and maybe I'll read 1 out of 3. And by the time it's done, I've got a whole new skill set that I didn't have. Not to mention all these conferences like Microsoft Ignite and Citrix and all these other conferences. Most of them used to have to pay $2,500, get on an airplane, fly there and so on. And now you can just scoop all that material for free. And you can download them. I put them on my phone. I put them on my tablet. I watch them on the go. And I'll just chew into those the entire year. So I'll download 300 presentations and I'll just chew into those for the whole year. When I've got an hour or 2 here and there, I'll just learn a new thing and maybe it'll make it into my brain or maybe it won't, but I don't have an opportunity if I'm not always trying to learn.
Very good point. It's it's interesting how the mind works, especially when we attempt to pick up something new. We think that it's going to be interesting, but we don't really have a direct line of sight into how it applies into our professional life. And then a little bit of time goes by, and then a situation comes up, and you're reminded of whatever it is that you saw or read. And then the practical application comes into play because now you're able to connect the dots between what you just learned and the problems at hand. So, great advice, really good advice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Question number 5, what other cyber professionals like yourself would you like to acknowledge and, might be a good guest on our podcast?
Oh, well, one of my favorites is Sami Laiho. He's a Finnish MVP. He's a security guy, and just everything he says is poignant and has a lot to offer. So if you can get Sami as a guest, I think you'd be spot on.
Excellent. And question number 6, always our fun way to wrap this up. When you think about it, what is your favorite piece of retro technology that always puts a smile on your face?
I work on it about once a week. My Amiga 3000, which I spend a lot of time on. I have juiced it to the max. If I recently bought a 68040 board from Hungary, and I had it recapped by a professional here in the States. I bought zip RAM, which is like nearly impossible to find. I burned new ROMs for it. Dude, I've got this thing wired up and knuckled down. It's as badass as I could make it in 2020. This thing was born in 1993. My Amiga 3000. I love it super hard.
Well, that is excellent. If people want to learn a little bit more about you, about PolicyPak, what is the best way to find out more and get in contact with you?
Yeah, sure. I've got two ways that people get in touch with me. If you're interested in my group policy training and consulting, that's at mdmandgpanswers.com. So mdmandgpanswers.com. If you're interested in the software that makes you more badass as an IT admin for Windows 10 and security, that's policypak.com. And of course, I got free trials and happy to help you out. Get out of the local admin rights business, manage the snot out of Windows 10, and a whole lot more.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Jeremy. And for those of us checking out more episodes and insights from the Cybersecurity and IT Professional Podcast, again, my name is Jeff. Thank you for your time today, and peace.